Hello, everybody. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. I am super excited to be back with you today for another card making video. And today we're going to create a really amazing card. We're actually going to make three. Oh, well, I've got three cards, and these are really unique and fun. I think you're going to like this. And what you're going to love about the cards today is we're going to use our tag topper punches in a very unique way. Let me share with you the cards. And can you see where I use the tag topper on this? Okay, yeah, it's not a tag, is it? And it's not a topper. I have three really fun cards, and you can do this with your fancy tag topper or your delightful tag topper. Maybe you have some of the older tag topper punches from Stampin' Up! That's right. Any of those tag topper punches are going to work. These are super fun. I think you're going to love them. And we are going to head over to my stamping table so I can show you how. All right. So let's go ahead and go over the card stock that you need to create the card. We are going to actually start. We're going to create this gorgeous thank you card. We will be using one of my favorite stamp sets, and I think it is yours too because we've sold a ton of them. Nature's Harvest. Isn't this a gorgeous one? You know, it actually has dies. We're not going to use those today because we're just going to let the stamps just stand alone and be gorgeous. All right. So the supplies we need, we're going to start with our card base, and we're using Bumblebee today. You could also use Crushed Curry. They're awfully close. This is cut very simply 5.5 by 8.5. There is no scoring on this card right now, so don't do any scoring. Let's leave it 5.5 by 8.5. For our layering pieces, we're going to use Early Espresso. This piece here is 2 1/8 by 5 1/4. And here I've got 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then on top of that, we're going to throw on some Very Vanilla. That's going to make kind of our stamped images really pop. So here, my Very Vanilla, 1 7/8 by 5 inches. And then this one here, 3 3/4 by 5. The last thing we need is some ribbon. I've got about 15 or 16 inches. This is that really pretty bumblebee gingham, which I thought was just perfect for this card and for fall. And that's all we need. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that's all we need. The most important part are the punches, right? We need those tag topper punches. This one here, you can see it's got a really nice little kind of detail. That's called the Delightful Tag Topper. This one is called the Fancy Tag Topper. And you notice they each have a spot. I'm trying to get in the best light there. You can see there's just a little hole so you could create tags and different things. Guys, we're going to do something really, really different with this one. You know what? For this card, I think I'll use the Delightful Tag Topper. So let's go ahead and create the card itself. So I'm going to open up my punch, and we're going to take the 5.5 inch side, and I want to slide this into my punch. But here's one thing you're going to notice when you do that. It doesn't quite want to go in because tags are meant to fit in this little area. So when you do this, I want you to take it nice and slow. And we're just going to kind of wiggle it in. All right, it will go in. It's not going to be a problem, but we don't want to ding up our cardstock at all. Once you've got it pressed and pushed in as far as it'll go, I'm going to take it up on its side and give it a tap. Because what I'm doing is I'm lining up the edge of that cardstock with the edge of my punch. Now we're going to give it a punch. And let me slide that out. There is my first punch. We're going to rotate it around. And we want to do that same thing right here on the other side. So sliding it in, making sure we're not dinging up our cardstock. Let me get my trash there. We're going to tap it on the table to make sure everything's nice and straight. And what I like about this technique, there's no tick marks. There's no, like making little marks here or there, or, ooh, what if we don't get it straight? We're guaranteed to get it straight that way. What we want to do now is we want to cut off this area and this area. So I'm going to put this into my paper trimmer, and I'm going to zoom in really tight so you can see. That is just barely sitting in the track. And because all of the punches can be a little bit different, this one being the Delightful Tag Topper, you can see I'm just going just a line less than 1 inch. And what we want to do is we're going to trim that off. We want to take it nice and slow when we do this. And when I slide down my cutter, you're going to feel it click. You might even see it. It'll just kind of Did you see it? Yeah, it just kind of cuts loose right there, and that's going to remove that little piece. Now, let's come down here at the bottom, and we're going to slide up, and we want to get this area and remove it. As we get a little closer, take it nice and slow. And again, you're going to kind of feel that cut loose where I didn't. Let's try it one more. There we go. Like I said, you just kind of feel it. All right, so we have those two pieces gone. Now, while I have this here in my paper trimmer and it's all set, I'm going to now come in with my scoring blade, and we're going to give that a little score. By the way, I've had several of you ask about the scoring blade. Maybe you've misplaced it or something. Let me give you another tip. Did you know that your bone folder will fit right in that track as well? And you could just run your bone folder right there and boom, you have a score. So we're only going to score one of these. So we've got that one done, right? Let's flip this around. We're going to repeat that exact same cutting that we just did. Whoops, that's a scoring blade, Connie. Let's get it right. So we'll start with that one. We remove that. We'll come down here. We'll do it again. Like I said, if you'll just take it nice and slow as you get closer, you're going to feel the click and you're going to know it's gone. All right, there we go. So I'm going to fold this piece over, and I do want to show you because this can occasionally happen. If you have a little excess here, don't worry about it. You could just come in and snip because it can happen, but it's not the end of the world. So this one that has the fold, this one that has the score line, let's put that to the left side, and I'm going to line up the edge of this cardstock at 4¼ inch. All right, 4¼ and we're going to give that a score. Remember, we can score this way, or we can come in with our bone folder and score. Listen, my friends, if you have missed any of the measurements, no need to keep scrolling back and forth. You can just follow the link down in the YouTube description. That's going to take you right to my blog post for today. You can grab all the measurements there. And hey, if you want to see the supply list or photos of my cards, those are waiting for you too. In fact, if you click the supply list, it's going to take you directly to my online store so you can order any of the supplies that you need. For example, those tag topper punches are kind of a must. And trust me, these are punches you're going to want to get your hands on. You'll find those right there at simplysimplestamping.com. All right, let's get back to the cards. And now we fold this over and this over. And now you can kind of see how this card goes together. Now, let me bring in my original because do you see something a little bit odd right there? You sure do. This is at the top and this is at the bottom. Well, watch what we can do. Problem solved. You're just going to flip it over. So trust me when I say you've not ruined anything if you do it in an opposite way. You're just going to flip it over. But you know what? This card, I could easily have those up at the top. It's whatever you prefer. Guys, that is the base of my tag topper card. But now let's do some decorating. Let's bring in some grid paper so I don't make a mess. I'm going to use my Early Espresso ink pad. And we're going to do some stamping and coloring. So the first thing we want to take are those gorgeous kind of daisies, or maybe those are daffodils. I'm not a good flower person, you guys. It is so not my thing. We're going to stamp this. And let me go ahead and give it a press. You notice here at the bottom, I really wanted to go off the cardstock. I didn't want that stem hanging in midair, just like that. So I want that cut off there. I can now come in with my thank you. Let's stamp that here. We've got another really great little floral image, and we're going to stamp that down there at the bottom. We are going to color with some blends. I love working with Stampin' Blends. I have Old Olive, Daffodil Delight, and Soft Suede for my cards. So let's go ahead and start with the Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to use the dark first, and I'm going to use the fine tip. If you guys are familiar, there's a fat line here and a thin line here. That's the fat tip. This is the thin tip. And what I want to do is I'm actually just going to trace. This is easy. Look, you don't even have to be neat. This is, I think, what I love most about Stampin' Blends is we just do it, right? And here we'll just kind of come in. This one's a little bit more difficult to trace, so I am literally just kind of scribbling on. And here, because we really can't trace anything, we'll just zzz and get some on there. All right, that was the dark. Now we can come in with the light, and I'm just going to start to color. and I'm going to touch the dark with the light, and it's going to blend the colors together and make them super pretty. This is what you've got to love about blends, is when these two, they're alcohol markers, and when these two alcohols touch each other, they blend and make such pretty um, depths of color. I don't know if you can really see it there, but yeah, you get that dark and that light together. And so it kind of gives all that detail. And of course, the stamp itself. Thank you, artist at Stampin' Up, for making me look like I'm really amazing, because they've added all this detail to the stamped images. So again, they're kind of making me look like an artist when I can't even draw a stick figure. There we go. That one is done. On the tops here, I'm actually going to use the light soft suede because there's so much detail here. I am just simply going to color those in, and I'm going to let the early espresso ink that's underneath, I'm going to let that kind of shine through, and we'll get this here. Guys, I don't know if you want to sit here and watch me do this, but we are going to now do that same kind of process with the old olive. And for this, I'm just going to kind of draw a few of these little lines that are here in my leaves. And can you see there's the dark, or there's the light now of that old olive, and see the detail it gives? And also I just love how quick and easy these are to color. Says the girl who used to hate to color until Stampin' Up came out with these blends, and I became addicted to coloring. They are some of my favorite tools in my stamp room. All right, so I will finish coloring these, and then I am just going to adhere this onto that early espresso cardstock. All right, I went ahead and colored the other one, and basically I just kind of did the same thing. So I've adhered both pieces onto their kind of matching piece of early espresso. And guys, it's time to put our card together. So we are going to adhere our wonderful, gorgeous sentiment here on the flap. And now for the inside, we'll add this early espresso layered piece with our sweet little stamped image. There we go. I think you figured out what we're going to do. We're going to tie this together with that bumblebee ribbon. And we want that to kind of tie here on the outside. So I'm going to run my ribbon through the inside. And we simply tie it in a pretty bow. Again, it sets a card so far above and beyond anything someone might buy in a store. And now I can go ahead and trim that down. We want that to look nice. So there we go, guys. Isn't it pretty? Now I have a couple other versions because, you know, we don't do just one card around here. How about a Christmas card? If you guys are in need of a Christmas card, this one made me very, very happy. This is the Delivering Cheer stamp set. And you can see we went with the retro girl here, and she's carrying a bunch of gifts. But did you know you could also do this little version here where she's got a kind of a raincoat, and then we have a tree, we have some kind of fall bouquets going on there. So you've got options with this one. I did the same thing, just colored with the blends. And remember this card we stamped here in the corner? Well, you notice this one we stamped here on the opposite corner because I wanted it to peek through. Use some of that great real red sheer ribbon. This one, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and kind of remove this so that you can see. This one I did with the other tag topper punch. Yep, this one was done with that fancy tag topper. So either one, everything works the same. There we just did sending love and Christmas cheer. And then again, we've got our wonderful ribbon, and we can just tie up this card. How about one more pretty card? I thought this birthday card just turned out so sweet. So for this card, I used mint macaron as my card base. Thought it kind of looked like mint chocolate chip ice cream. So we stamped a little mint chocolate chip and a few other yummy flavors there. This is some polished pink and our basic white. All the measurements, by the way, I think you can tell, the measurements are all the same. I didn't change anything. But let me show you something special I did in this card. Tied this one up with some pale papaya ribbon. Oh, and this one, of course, you can see was used with that delightful tag topper. But this one, I stamped a little happy birthday inside, and I gave myself another panel. If I want to write more, I have some room to write some more here and a little bit more over here. It's an option. This piece same size as this piece. So the measurements, you're just going to go and double those. Guys, these are the cards that are truly going to delight someone. I'm telling you, they are going to open this card and then see that you have created something very unique, something they may not have ever seen before. And of course, they're just full of fun with that ribbon and that fun little tie. Thank you all so much for being here today. I would love a thumbs up on YouTube if you enjoyed today's video. And if you have not subscribed, take a minute to click that great big red subscribe button so YouTube can let you know whenever I'm back with a new video. And hey, while you're at it, why not share with a crafty friend? The more the merrier around here, right? That is it for me, everybody. Make it a great day. I can't wait to stamp with you again soon. Bye-bye.